वो फील्ड्स हम बनाना स्टार्ट कर रहे थे, राइट? तो उसमें आप लोगों ने क्या बनाया कि फील्ड?
नहीं, वो फील्ड नहीं
बनाया।
अच्छा, फील्ड काम करते हैं। लेट मी क्लोज ऑल टैब्स, स्टार्ट शेयरिंग माय ब्राउजर। थोड़ा प्रैक्टिस करना होगा डेली, कम से कम आप लोग ये खोलोगे ना, देन यू गाइस विल गेट कॉन्फिडेंस।
यूट्यूब में देख के and साथ ही have to do that.
हाँ, मतलब जस्ट सेल्सफोर्स से काम करते हैं ना, सेल्सफोर्स सेटअप, ऑर्गेनाइजेशन सेटअप, क्वेश्चंस। ठीक है, ये क्वेश्चन हो, जैसे हम लोगों ने सेटअप किया हुआ है ना, देखो सेटअप यूनिट हमने सेटअप किया हुआ है, तो ये सारे क्वेश्चन है इधर। अपडेट द वैल्यू ऑफ फार्मूला फील्ड, ये फार्मूला फील्ड वगैरह तभी हम क्रिएट कर रहे हैं, तो ये सब भी थोड़ा बहुत देखो। मेनली आप, मैं तो ये कहूँगा मेनली आप लोग जो है जस्ट start logging into Salesforce. That's it. Just log in.
ये
man.
मेरे को भी आया सैटरडे दे आर मेंटेनेंस।
हाँ, वो 5 मिनट्स का मेंटेनेंस होगा सेल्सफोर्स का इंटरनल साइट का सर्वर।
Saturday.
वो भी मॉर्निंग में है।
वो जिस 5 मिनट्स ही है ना, सैटरडे 10 to 10।
I think वो नोटिफिकेशन रहा होगा वो 5 मिनट का, ठीक है, वो हमने पढ़ा नहीं था ना, इसलिए अभी भी दिख रहा है वो। Okay. So what we were doing, we created an application. This is that application, and in that application we are creating an object. So create objects. This is our objects. Inside that object we created an invoice object, and in the invoice object we were creating fields. So there were two fields which we created. One was invoice date and one was status. While creating the field, it just asked like what is the, I mean, with the field we create one field which will just track the all the, I mean, there should be a unique number with all the records related to this object. So that object, that field we create while creating the object. So that is mandatory. Whenever we create any new object, for that new object we have to choose like what is the unique name we want to choose for that particular object. So for this invoice object, we choose invoice number as a field, and for this invoice number, we choose like it is a auto number. So that was one thing. Apart from that, these details like created by, last, modified, and honor, these details are already there. I mean, this will be always there with respect to all the object we create into Salesforce. Okay, so this is that, and then we started creating custom fields for this invoice object. So we created two custom objects. One was invoice date and another was status. So in this, is there any question for you guys?
No.
If you don't have any question, I'll suggest just start creating these two fields. Okay. Or if you want me to go ahead with this, then I will go ahead and will start creating other. So what we have to do, I'll just tell you what we are doing. Command. Yeah. This is what we have to create. So this is our invoice object. In the invoice object, we created the invoice number. Company we haven't created. Status we have created. We saw like how we can create a pick list for the status. So we created a pick list, and that pick list we assigned as a status. Okay. Then I just have to show you how we can have a dependent pick list. So that I haven't showed, but I will show you how we can create that field. So there were two things which I have created with this invoice object. So this is the invoice object, and then there is this number which we created, the status which we have created. Okay. And what else we have created into custom field? Invoice date and invoice status. Okay. So invoice date and status, these two we have created. A number we created, we gave it. It is auto number which we gave. So these details still I have to create. So these details still I have to create. Then what all we have to do is we have to create invoice product. Okay. So this invoice product is a different object for which we have to create these uh, fields. So we have to create this object also, and we have to create these fields for this object, and one invoice can have a multiple invoice products. So that we will have to see like how we can relate one object with the other object, and what all different kind of relationship two objects can have. Okay, then we have to create a contact. So this contact is nothing but invoice contact with which we can just um, one invoice can have multiple contacts, so it can have one to many relationship. That also we'll see. Also account and invoice, so one to one relationship it is. So we'll see like what all relationship. So basically we have to, this account is already there, then how we can relate the account and invoice, and how we can relate the contact and invoice, and how we will just create this object and these, and how we will relate these. So we still have these fields which we still have to create. So that all we will do. But before that, I think if you guys want me to go ahead with other fields, then I will move ahead. Or I will just ask you guys to, if you think like you are not confident and you'll not be able to create, then I think just go and create first these two. And if there is any question, we will resolve, and then we will move forward. क्या बोलते हो Rahul and Pradeep? What do you guys want? Because this is the object, this is important.
Custom field, we will create this now. Custom field relationship.
Okay, so you start creating. Okay, so you have to, you
New.
know, right, how we can create the fields.
Yeah, I click load new custom field is I am on this page actually. Custom field
Yeah,
page.
so go ahead.
Wait,
I'm just sharing the properties, whatever I have. Okay, so this is the properties of this field. Here it is. I clicked on this. Okay, so just create, and once it is done, let me know.
in this page we have to select all number
Sorry, Pradeep.
Yeah, in this page, new custom field page, like there is an option to select all the numbers like data types like auto number, formula, lookup relationship.
Yes, so this is the date object.
Mm.
So
So we
this is
have
the
to select
invoice date, and you can see there should be a date object.
date.
So yeah, I will revise what all fields do, but for now, like you can create this
I'm
as a
not onto
condition.
this. I'm not into this page. I'm into custom link edit page. That is label name, protected component, description, behavior. I'm getting these options.
No, no, this is so this is the edit. So you'll not be in this field. So what I'm doing is I'm just showing like how what all the properties of my field which I created. So I'll just cancel it. So here is my just I will go back again. Uh, back, 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 uh, back to invoice. Yeah. So this is my object, invoice object. In this invoice object, we have these standard fields. So standard one standard field we created as invoice number. So this will always be there. In the custom field and relationship, you guys will not have anything, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yes, yes, it's
So
not.
here you will have to create. So these
Yeah.
custom fields, as we were discussing here, we have this invoice object. In this invoice object, we have created this number as a standard field, but still we have to create these many fields.
Okay.
Okay. So in this first field, which you guys are going to create is invoice
Invoice.
date. So this will be of type date type. So what you can do, you just have to press this new, and then when you'll choose new, you have a different types for the
Yes.
field. So in the different types, as this is a date, you will have, I told like you can either choose date or date and time. So uh date is for capturing the current date, and date and time is for capturing the date with the time. Like if we will select the date and time, and then what it will do, it will just capture the current date, which is 11th October 2022 with the time 3:54 p.m. So it will capture both things. So I chose this date. You can choose either date and time or date. So as you guys are going along with me, I believe it's better to choose date.
Yeah, yes, yes.
Date and
Yeah.
time.
No, date only. Only date.
And no other option we need to select.
No,
No,
after
only you can
selecting the
select one option only.
for
Only one
every
option.
field, so you will be saying like what kind of data you will be saving into this field.
Okay.
So when you're creating your object, with that object, you are having different fields like let's say this account. Where is having this account? Yeah. Okay, so when you go into account, let's say this is one account, Grand Hotels and Resort Limited. Account you can consider as a company or a business. So when you'll open this business, you will have different fields. You see, these are fields. Account owner is a field. Okay. Customer priority is a field. So these fields, so these are already defined by Salesforce. But for our requirement, for our demand, what we are doing, we are designing this whole fields. So what is our requirement? Our requirement is this. With our requirement, our invoice should have a number, and for which company this invoice is generated, what is the date on which this invoice is generated, what is the current status of the invoice, and what is this individual date. Okay, oh sorry, this is the invoice date, and then what is I think this is not required, we can delete this. Then what is the total? Okay, what is the total and what is the tax price? So these we can just, and like what is the invoice products, what is the quantity? So the based on these, like you see, with this invoice we have invoice products. Okay, so with this invoice we have invoice product, multiple products into this. So total we can calculate, like this total we can calculate based on this invoice product and quantity. So that we will see later. But for now, you guys got the idea, right? What we are doing.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back here. Yeah, so here you can choose date object. Then let's go to next, and here you'll have to select the field name, and if you don't want this is not required. Like what we are creating here is this is the invoice date, right? Yeah, so invoice date is you can say like it is required. So it will always be required, and the formula you can choose like today. Here you can just copy. There are many formulas in Salesforce. Okay, but this one for our case, when we say today means it will just record the today's date. And as this field is a date type, so it will only record the date into this. Then you can go to next and then you can just save. So let me know if once you guys are done with this and if there is any question in the middle.
Yes, this is
Once you are done with the invoice date, you'll have to create the status. So I'll tell how we are
yeah,
creating
it
the
says
status.
you must enter the value here, field label and field name.
Where it's saying on, so
Um,
suppose you choose date
yeah,
object, let's go
date
next.
next. Yeah, in the red, it is highlighted in red.
Yeah, so
Field
you'll have to choose
label.
the field level. So in our case, our field level is invoice date. So this is the field level. So it will automatically will be generated based on the field level you will give, and then you have to click on this checkbox which is saying required. Once you click on this checkbox, and then you can just move forward. Here in the default value, you will have to select this today.
Today.
So here you, I mean, whatever you are copying that today, so the where the bracket start till plus, we need to copy, or the where the
No, no.
bracket closes,
So what this
because it's
formula
showing
is
me
doing?
because it's showing me an error when I'm copying it today where the bracket starts till plus.
No, no, you don't have to. You don't have to copy this
Plus sign will
plus.
not be there. That will
You don't need. So what happens? Plus is to say like suppose you want to create a formula for 5 days before or 5 days after. Okay. So
Okay.
you can do in that case you can do like plus and minus.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Once it is done, like invoice, like let's say the sample.
Showing me error, syntax error missing.
Just a minute, I will showcase. Okay, date sample, and then I clicked on this required. This is the today. You don't have to keep any spaces here. Okay, and you have to keep next. Once you'll
yeah,
click on
I'm
next,
in
you'll come
custom.
here on this page.
Why it's showing me syntax error missing?
Can you share screen?
Yeah.
Date open bracket and close bracket. You have to just put that's it. There is should not be any space in between. Today you have a bracket before today.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's showing
Yes.
here today. Okay, there is
Then
no
that you
space.
have to remove actually.
This
No,
one,
no, before today, before today. When today is
where the
starting, right?
bracket, yeah, where the brackets open, na?
No, no, you remove that bracket. Yeah. And after today, you press opening and closing both. Yeah.
Okay, there was a gap. That's why space there was.
So it is saying like your field label is invoice. You wanted to just create the field label as invoice date, because then this is how. Can you go previous? Go to
I stopped.
previous differentials here.
Yeah, I went to previous page.
Yeah, there actually rename your field as a invoice date, not only invoice.
Invoice date.
Invoice
So
is
it
our
will be
object name.
okay. So invoice underscore date, or it would be a one word invoice date.
No, if you
So,
write invoice date in
so when you
field level, by default it will take field name as invoice underscore date.
No, no. I mean to say that I need to put all together invoice date, or there need be to be any like underscore or something like that. It can take one word, or I need to put any space on that.
Invoice space date in field
Invoice
level.
date. Okay.
you can, we are not seeing your screen now. So if you're,
Okay. Just see it's dead.
so as what you can do, just remove both field label also, field name also, because you are just modifying, no? That is the reason. Yeah, field name also remove. Yeah. Now outside, click anywhere. Outside, click anywhere. Yeah, there only. Okay, now you start giving the field label as invoice label, invoice name, invoice date. Yeah,
Invoice space
space.
date.
No, no,
वहाँ
no,
नहीं
no, not
आएगा.
in field name.
Not
Again,
in
you have to
field.
remove both field name and field label both, because it is auto generating. No, so if you're, yeah, now in the field label give invoice space date.
Here it's
By
taken
default.
underscore.
Yeah, now
By
it is.
default it's taking. No, I mean in field level you can't see that underscore, but in field name it's by default taken underscore.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. So field name it will auto generate, and field label is the one where you have to give. Okay, so this is good. This is how it should be.
अरे तो why you are giving space again?
Oh
Rahul.
yeah, it's taken.
Okay. नहीं नहीं field level should be invoice and date only, not underscore.
But by default it taken field name with invoice underscore date, na?
Field name will be invoice under date underscore date, but field name should be invoice space date.
दोनों difference में रहेगा
हाँ
तो फिर
दोनों
कैसे
different
करेंगे?
रहेगा.
Okay.
I'll tell you why what is happening. So I'll share my screen. Just let me go back previous. Okay. So what is field label and what is field name? Okay. So before going ahead, I think let's see. So field label is the field which will be displaying to you. Okay. So when you'll come here, you see what it's showing. Account owner, right? So this is a label. So in account, this is the account. Okay. In the account, this is a field. Okay. This is complete one field you see. Or let's say account number as a field. Okay. So when we are seeing this as a field, this is a label. Okay. For this is a label, like this will show
For this
you
owner.
for this, but there will be a field name for this. Okay, so that name, so you don't, so here you don't want to create like underscore, right? You don't, it won't look good here when
Okay.
you'll
Yes.
just see, so it won't look good. So whenever you are creating any field label, what is happening? Salesforce automatically generates the field name for you.
Fold.
Okay, so it will just see, it will checks the uniqueness of the field name, what it can create. If there is, there should not be any field which is already there with this object, and it will try to create a unique field name, and then it will generate. Like if you are giving account number, then it will create account underscore number for that field. But still you want here label should be like this only, right? So what we do, like how we want to show the invoice date, we want to show like this invoice. date. And what Salesforce will do, it will automatically create the field names like this. Okay. And if we will move forward with this, you see,
It's
we
not
have
working.
already created the invoice date. Okay. So it is complaining me like it tried to generate the field name, but with I have already created invoice date. Okay. So it is not able to create the invoice date. So what we can do, we want the field label to see like this only. So we don't have to do anything with this. Maybe I can just choose that one more underscore, then we can go next. The custom field name you provide invoice object can only contain alphanumeric character, must begin with the letter. Okay. Let's say this will be this will go. So basically the idea you understood, right? We have
Yeah,
already
yeah.
created the invoice date. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, that's
Yes. Once it will be done, once it is done, right, for you. So now
Mhm.
you likewise you create the status. So for start creating the status, and if you get blocked, just let me know. So first
So in the
question, when
next
you
page, we don't have to choose anything like a system administrator or something like
We
that.
don't need to click on this one,
Read
anything.
only, read only.
no, so the thing is we are creating it as a required field. So with whichever uh, whichever invoice will be created, with all the invoices there will be invoice date. So
Okay.
if you remember, what we did is we choose as a date, next, and what we are seeing is invoice date. Okay, so let's delete it. We check this box required. So when we are seeing always require a value in this field in order to save a record. So this field is required for sure. Okay, so in this four step of field creation, so this is, you see, this is a step 2 where we are just choosing what is the field label and field name. And when we will go next, okay, so I didn't choose formula, so I'll go previous. We have to have the formula, right? As we were doing. Let's go next. So here, as we have chose like this field is a required, like this is must. So whenever you are saving any record, any invoice object, whenever you are saving, that invoice must have this detail. So if that is the case, then this all, I mean, we don't have to, we will not have, we cannot manage these because it will be for all these profiles, like all these profiles, it will be visible for all the profiles, and because it is must, right? You cannot just
Mm.
create a read only, or so we don't will not be having, we will not be able to manage the permission. So when you will go next, here you have to choose the invoice layout. So layout, we will see how we can create a new invoice, new label, and all. I mean, how we can create a layout. So this is this is the standard layout which is already there. So this will already, whenever you create an object, for that object there will be one layout. So layout is nothing but how it will look. Then if you want to save it, just click on the save, and this object will be created and it will be saved. But if you'll click on the save and new, you will be able to save this object and you will land onto again create wizard. So this can be said as a wizard, right? This is nothing but a
Okay. So
new
here,
pop-up or wizard where we are creating, there is this flow, right? So for the flow, we say like wizard. So you got me, right? What I'm saying. So
Yeah.
you must
yes,
have, yeah.
I actually saved it. So instead of save and new. So, but again, we have a new button on the top where we can create
Yes,
another
yes.
custom
So
field.
yes, so it is for your convenience, like you don't come back here and again press new. So you can just create from there only. If suppose you have to create a multiple fields, so it will just give you convenience to create multiple object one after other from the same place instead of going back on the object. So once you are done with the invoice date, just start creating the status. So whenever the first thing which should come in your mind, like, okay, so I am going to create a status for this particular object. So what type of field this will be? Like what all things we are going to save into status. So what things we are going to save is there are different kind of status which we are going to maintain into this. So that is here into invoices Excel here. This is our Excel and these are the status. So there are these 4 status which we are going to create. So as we know, like to create a pick list or any object which have a multiple like we can choose, then we can create in Salesforce, we can create it as a pick list. So you can just go ahead and create a pick list for the status uh, field. This is that status field. Okay, so this status field, you can see, you see it is creating as an invoice date. This is the status field. So the status field is what you can just check, like, so if suppose you want to know the details about this, what is this status field? Okay, so the status field label is status, name is status, both is same. Then API name, you never create API name. Salesforce just uniquely choose this API name, and once you are done, it just tells you in the field information. So this is the API name, then the description, whatever you have given, and the help text, then data owner, field uses, data sensitivity, compliance, then who is created and modified. So this is all about this field. So suppose if you have to create, suppose you don't know like what you can create. So what you can do, like here there is already one account. Okay, in the account you can see like, okay, so this guy have created this annual revenue. So this is what, this is a standard object. In that standard object there is already a field. So how they must have created? So what you can do is you can just check this like here. Okay, so we'll have to go in, not build here. I think we'll have to go to objects, customize topics for object, topic for objects. This is the account, you see, and in this, okay, so I don't want to confuse you guys, so just go ahead with this. Okay, so just create the status. So you understood, right, what I want to say? So here I'll go with my object, and in this object, this is our custom object, right? So this is my custom object. In this, you create the status and another object as a status.
We have to create another object as a status, right?
Yeah,
For
another
invoice.
field. So this, sorry,
Yeah.
I'm saying object, but it is a field. So this is our object. In for this object, we are creating multiple fields. So we have created invoice date. Now we are going to create the status of this invoice date, where we will be maintaining the different status of the particular invoice.
Okay. So there we have to choose pick list with only pick list, not pick list multiple select. Next.
Okay. Okay. So that, let's see what is
Status.
this. We just have to create, yeah. So you just have to create a pick list. I will tell what is this pick list multi-select later. Oh, this I have already told, I think you guys.
Yes,
So
pick list
yeah.
multi. Do not use generally. You said like.
Yes, yes, yes.
That's why I couldn't catch you where you left on that page. I'm selecting objects and I'm not able to get that page.
Oh, sorry, I was speaking on mute. So, Rahul, are you on this page where I am?
No, I created that again with invoiced it. I was just practicing and I was searching an object, but I couldn't find that one.
Okay, so you to find your object, you have to search here into quick search, and
Object and which object?
when you'll search here, you'll have to click the objects, and here into custom objects, you'll be able to see all the custom object which you have created. So once you land here, you will be able to see whatever custom fields you must have created.
No, it's showing only me with recruitment one, not with today's one. Custom object page.
Mm, so you're not able to see this object, invoice
No,
object.
no, only recruitment.
Can you share your screen?
Yeah.
Have you created your
Yeah,
object?
yeah. Two times
Invoice
I've
object?
two times.
No, just open this recruitment. Scroll down. Have you deleted your object
No,
accidentally?
see, I can show you in home page. See, it's showing here invoice date and invoice date created activity.
So
Custom
open
data.
this invoice date, open this invoice date, click on this. Okay, so this invoice date, custom field which you are creating. Okay, okay. Mm, Back to activity fields. Why we are not able to see the object of this field? Edit here, edit, click on this edit button. Want to see what is okay. Okay. Cancel here. Again, you go back the page where you were saying like the go back, go back again onto home page. I think like just 1 minute. Okay. Here in the recent item, you see you have created multiple object, but here I cannot see that object um, invoice object.
Yeah,
These
there
are
are two items.
these are custom field definition, but in the recent item you have finance as a custom app.
I
Okay.
mean a custom object as a recruitment.
Yeah, but you don't have that one here. Invoice object you don't have. Just 1 minute. So go scroll up into this. Here into there on the top there is finance, right? This application I'm saying, Rahul.
There.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you have multiple application apps you have created, or this is only application? Finance is only application you have created in Salesforce.
Only application with finance.
Just click on that finance. No, on the top right corner, on the top right corner.
Oh,
Yeah, here you have only finance. Okay. इसके अलावा there is nothing. So, but we cannot see your object. So we cannot see that object which you have created. Go back again in the quick find and search objects. So, but you are saying you have created, right? You have
yeah.
created that object.
Yeah.
Here it's saying like you have created recruitment.
Yeah.
You created recruitment also?
No, not now.
Okay, click
I
on this
only
recruitment.
I only created with two items, invoice underscore date and invoice underscore that one. I was just practicing that.
So this was created on
10/7 on
7.
7.
Okay, scroll down into this standard field, and there is no custom field at all here.
Yeah.
Then where you created those custom fields? Just one. Okay, go back on your home page again where you are saying showing, yeah, home page. No setup वाला, हाँ अभी you see these invoice date and invoice DAT. The object which you are creating is activity. You see right side. It's not on your invoice object. This invoice object, what it's showing is it's showing like these two. Click on this activity. So from here, I don't know. From here, you started creating. So first you'll have to create this one, Rahul. First you create the object, okay, the invoice object, and that invoice object you will have to assign to our application. Okay, so you go to objects and create invoice object.
On this page or a different page?
No, in the quick find you'll have to search objects. In the create section, yeah, objects. Here, new custom object. Here you have label and plural label, right? So here in the label you give invoice. Okay, plural label you don't have to give, actually it automatically selects, but okay, you can give anyways. Go down. Okay, leave it context sensitive information as that. Then data type. In the data type, yeah, select that.
Auto number, right?
Click on yes. And here you will have to choose in INV.
INV.
And yes, we are
Article
creating a
INV.
record, right? With INV hyphen. 0 0 0 0, you can say. How it is on the right, it's showing no within the braces
Okay,
like
with this
that.
in this bracket.
Yeah.
So
Starting
A,
number one.
I think it's A is like INV, right?
Yes, A is like INV. And starting number you can say like from number one. Okay, then these are the optional features which you can choose. Allow reports, allow in chatter groups.
So these are mandatory. I need to check these boxes.
So these are optional, but we need like we can allow. So if you are chatting, suppose, okay, with the chatter, you want to share any invoice, okay, so that you can do. Also, if suppose you want to you want to see the field history when it got created and all, so you can just click on the upper track field history checkbox. Allow activities, we can just allow activities onto this object. We can allow the reports. So first one also you can select allow reports and activities. Activities also. Then we have this object classification. So this object classification, you don't have to choose anything. It's already by default, it's selected for you. So you don't need to do anything. It's just classifying your object. Okay. How you will be sharing this object with the external API and also it is that. In deployment status is the one where we are saying like it is deployed or not. So when you are saying, so when you will create and you are saying like it's deployed. So for that, you can select this radio button. Otherwise, suppose if you want, like you are working onto this item and you don't want to deploy it immediately after your object is created, then you can check that upper box in development. But for now, I think we are good to have this deployed. Then in the search status, you have this checkbox where you can click and say like you can allow search down. So when you are allowing a search on any object, you are so you have this quick search, right? So with the quick search, you can search like suppose you are looking for invoice record which is INV hyphen 0030. So you can just directly search with from the quick search and it will just search. Yeah. So this is how you are creating. Then what you are having object creation options available only when custom object add notes and attachment related to default page layout. Yeah. Click on the first one. You want to add node related to the list default page layout. So this is how you can create your object. Just save it. Okay, now your object is created.
Yeah.
So this is your object. So if now here you'll have to create custom fields for this object.
This one, this option I need to go new.
Yes. New custom fields and relationship is there. No, yeah. Likewise, you'll have to create both the fields. One is status and one is invoice date. So go ahead and create.
I need nothing to check on these boxes. Date and time.
Click
No,
on date.
yeah. Yeah, Pradeep will guide you.
This is
Your field name invoice date. By default, you will have invoice underscore date in the field name. Yeah. Check on this required, always required value. Formula today and open bracket and close bracket. That's it. Next. So in that Save. Next. Okay, save. Yeah. So we are done for this one. So now we have to create status. So again, same custom field and relationship. There's a new button, no? Top custom field relationship.
Coming with the same page only.
Yeah, same page. Custom field relationship where we have
Yeah.
created invoice date.
This one, na edit. Sorry, new one.
No, no,
This one, new.
new. Yeah, new. Click on
Okay. See, date only.
नहीं नहीं this
Pick
time
list.
we have to choose pick
Pick
list.
list.
Your screen is freezed यार. Move नहीं कर रहे सब. We're on the same page.
Now pick list.
Pick
Uh,
list next.
pick list or pick list multi select.
नहीं नहीं only pick list. Pick list फिर next. Next के बाद यहाँ पे कुछ फॉर्मूला लगेगा. ये यहाँ पे मैं भी स्टार्ट.
Pick list field label should also be again invoice.
नहीं नहीं यहाँ पर status होगा.
Field label status.
I can only okay, so here, okay, so here you have on the second step, okay. So
Yeah.
where
I am on this page only. Like field level name I have given as status.
yeah. So
Uh,
okay, so when you are here on this page, here you have options where the first thing you have to select is field label, like how it will be
level.
shown. Yeah, how it will be shown. So that one you can choose Rahul as a status. Like you want to for invoice, you want to show like this is the status. Write down status over there.
Screen is
Field label
freeze
and field
Rahul.
name.
Field level status. That's
Yeah,
what.
okay, screen is freeze. Wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, then
New.
values. So we when you're seeing the values, you have a two option over there. So
Yes.
it is like what all values you want for your status. So the first option is use global pick list value set. So for your organization, you can create a global pick list like yes, no, like yes, no is a one of the pick list which you can create. Then color options like green, yellow, violet, those you can create. But in our case, it is not a global pick list. It's related to invoice, and we haven't created any global pick list as of now. Okay, I have. If you guys remember, like I have told, like what is global pick list, right? Or if you forgot, Rahul, left side, there in your quick search, search for global pick list. Ye- Yeah, only search for pick list value set. Pick list value set. Yeah. No, no, only pick list. No, 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 don't click on that. Don't click on that. Only search, delete S from
Pick
pick
list,
list.
not pick list.
Yeah,
Pick
in
list
the
value.
build section, you see pick list value sets is there, no? So
Yeah.
here you can create with this, you can create a global pick list. Okay, so let's check that here again onto this page where we are creating the invoices. Here select this second checkbox, Rahul. Sorry, checkbox. I'm saying second radio, where
Enter
it
value.
is saying enter values.
Second option.
Your screen is freezed again. I think yeah. Now we are able to. in the values there is second radio button, right? Yes.
Yeah.
So now we are going to manually define the pick list value for the status. So what will be our values for the status that we know from our Excel sheet. So there are four values which is there into Excel sheet. So there are four kind of status which we can maintain with this. One is draft. Okay. One is draft you can write. So you will have to draft. Yeah. One is draft. Then for the second, yeah, you have to enter and you have to so for all the suppose you have to give multiple values. So where you have selected the radio button, you can see it's suggesting you enter values with each value separated by a new line. Okay, so the next value which we are going to give for this pick list is invoiced. It spells with INVOICED.
Okay.
Then the third value which we are going to give for our pick list field is overdue. OVERDUE. Then the fourth value which we are going to give for our pick list is paid. PAID.
Paid PAID.
PAID, yes. So we are just tracking the status of our invoice, whether it's a drafted or just invoiced or it's overdue. Yeah. Then this is all four value which we are going to maintain as a status for this pick list. Then we have this option checkbox you see where we have to select whether we want to display these values which we have given as a
Alphabet.
alphabetical order or not. And if you want it to be shown as alphabetical order, then you will have to click on that checkbox, display values alphabetically.
Okay.
Then you have this option use first value as a default value. So suppose you want that draft should be the default value. Always it should be
On the top.
selected. Yeah, it should be selected on the top. Even if the customer is not selecting any value, the draft will be the one which will be chosen. Okay, and always will be selected. Then this is the field name. In description, you can write like status of invoice, sales invoice, status of sales invoice. Same you can give into help text.
So we
This
need
we are
to put
not going to, sorry.
we, we need to put formula here again.
No, so formula is when we are just going to give the default value for anything like any text field we are creating or any date field we are creating. Here, when we are creating a status, we on the status what formula we will maintain. We cannot maintain any formula, right? So there is no need to create a formula
This
because
should be checked or not. Required. Always
Required
require a value in the
value.
field in order to save a record. It is
so let's say like this is not required. Like if the status is not being maintained and generated, that's okay with us for our organization. That's the requirement. And let's not click this required field and let's go ahead and click on the next button.
mm, okay.
What happened?
So here we have a few boxes which are unchecked.
Yeah, so these boxes are unchecked because these are gold partner. These are partner, mostly partner
Mm,
applications. It is unchecked. Okay, so it is unchecked because this is not required, and that one you can just optionally you can if you want you can just give the permission, but that is okay. And for the work.com and for work.com. If you want, you can just give as a read-only permission for work.com only user. Yeah. No, no, you can give both the permission, both. Yeah. Now, okay, if that is the case, now you can go to next page. Next. Okay, just save it. Okay, so you have, so now when you'll see your invoice object, you have created two fields, right?
Yes,
One is the
invoice
invoice
and
date and another is the status. Okay, go down the top in this. Hmm, okay, good. So this is how we created the two object. Sorry, this is how we created our object, and this is how we created the fields for our object. So two fields which we created. Now we have a different fields. Still, we have to create different fields. So this exercise is very important. So I don't
Yeah,
want
I
you
need to
guys.
practice once again.
Yeah, you'll have to practice, and we will, because we still have to. Our object is not ready yet. So our object still needs couple of more fields, and then our object needs to have some relationship mapping with other objects like account, contact, and even invoice product. So even we have to create a different object, invoice product, and then we have to link the invoice product with this invoice. So we have lots of things still there. So so
Rajat,
we'll
if I
start.
need to practice again with this a different label, I can do that one. No?
Yes,
Again,
you
I
can
can
do
add
so.
that.
So I'll suggest like just create any other object and start
Yeah,
practicing over there with that object.
yeah, we need to go with.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, sure. Let's
So
practice this one today. Both
just
of
practice with it and let me know if there is any question tomorrow. Tomorrow again we'll start with creating other fields, whichever is pending.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
okay.
All
Thank you.
right. Thank you, Rahul. Thank you, Pradeep.
Thanks.